I believe that the health burden here on the Ministry of Health is very overwhelming. Households are usually very large in numbers, where food is shared by not just people in the household, but when relatives come, they have to share the food with relatives, friends. Kids bring their friends over and they drink with each other. That's just a cultural norm here on the island, which we have no control over. It's just like the way people live. For a place like Ebeye, where a lot of the food source comes from the store, it's imported because the space is very small and limited gardening, almost no gardening at all. So there's limited food like vegetables. It's available at the store, probably at a higher price and things like that.
What we are finding is that there's, of course, a lot of diabetes, and as well a lot of unrecognized diabetes. I have seen many patients in the past few days that had no idea that they have diabetes, and they're walking around with glucoses in the 300s, 400s. Quality of the foodstuffs available here is in general diabetogenic. That is to say, causes diabetes in that it's of poor quality. Essentially, the entire island is paved or covered by crushed coral rock. So very little space for people to grow staples that Pacific Island people used to eat. So I think there's really no more taro growing going on in the Marshall Islands, and there's in this sort of setting very little opportunity for say having pandanus or arrowroot, some of the or breadfruit, some of the staple crops that people used to depend upon. I'm advising people to eat a diet appropriate for diabetes. So that is to say, whole grains and some of those Pacific Island high fiber root crops and such. But if they're just not available, if they're not coming in, then there's no opportunity for people to buy them.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yay! We started to think about this screening program last year. So basically what we are doing is when they come, we are measuring their blood pressure, and then we are measuring their diabetes status. We are measuring their sugar level in their blood, and also we are measuring the cholesterol level to see, to have a clear picture about this person for those diseases. And then after that, this person will take X-ray of the chest to see if there is any abnormal lesion in their lungs, and then to see if there is any potential possibility that this person has tuberculosis.
The active case finding is a new approach in the Pacific, but of course it's an old approach from the 40s and 50s in places that don't have much TB anymore because of the active case finding that was done in the streets of even Hawaii. We go over some of the methodologies. And to know how to do this, it's a lost art. You can see there's integration going on, but anytime we look at TB in the Pacific Islands, it has to be integrated with the diabetes programs because the diabetes is such a significant driver of tuberculosis here in the Pacific. There's way too much counting going on in public health. And part of it is because, particularly with NCDs, the counting, as difficult as it is, it's the easy part. It's easy to count, especially when we try to look at the interventions that are needed for NCDs, community-wide interventions, taxes on junk food. There's some of this brave administrative work that needs to be done, building exercise pathways and areas for people to take care of themselves better. Those are hard projects, and for an external agency to come in, it's really difficult to implement.
My name is CJ Lloyd, and I'm from Ebeye Atoll. I like it out here because families and friends. I don't like it out here because we got less waters and food. Hey.
There is a problem with land, on Ebeye is very crowded, but we are also have to work with the landowners to utilize the other small islands that have more spaces, but then we have to be innovative as well and be creative. We have to come up with ideas of gardening using containers and recycling methods. And so challenges, every turn you make, there's always challenge, but it's how you rise above that. Ebeye is not slum of the Pacific. That's the name we got for a long time. But we have to change that mentality. And so healthy Ebeye is when we see a lot of people, are on the streets with children and exercising, and also that we don't have to go to funerals to see young men or young men died of diabetes.
Kwajalein Atoll.